Be unto you, brothers and sisters. We're happy to be here. Happy to be back in front of you. And happy with our subject. Assassination of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Certainly happy to be here. Certainly happy to be here. We've got some updates since we last spoke. We certainly have updates. One of the main updates is that there are white devils or people, whatever you want to call them, it's up to you, that are in the Nation of Islam. And I tell you, brothers and sisters, I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know how we're going to deal with this, because I have to say it. This Farrakhan and the things that he's doing is causing trouble for us in the Muslim movement. The things that he's doing is causing trouble for us in the Muslim movement. Because when Farrakhan goes, the question comes, to what we're going to do. And every decision that has been made will have an effect on us. And, it's good that we're fasting, because during the month of Ramadan, right, as we prepare for it, not many days off, we can talk about these issues. We should be in constant prayer and constant fasting and constant study, because we are in a situation as Muslims it's going to be a very dark, confusing time, because many of you have been indoctrinated to bring in these devils, white devils, inside of the mosque. Those of you that are being taught by Farrakhan, these devils have become your friends. Brothers and sisters, this is not the way that we want to go. This is not the way to be. So I'm challenging that. We have to have some place. And I understand what Dr. Khaled meant when he said we have to have some place that the white man is not able to get in. I understand that. You can't let him in everything. That's our problem. We let the white man into everything that we're doing, every part of our life. We let the white man in. We've got to have some place that the white man is not able to get in. This is not racism, brothers and sisters. This is plain common sense. Excuse me. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. I don't think the show will go any further if I can't come on it and sneeze. But we got to get to the place, excuse me, sisters and brothers, we got to get to the place where we are so comfortable around each other until we're not willing to allow anyone to interrupt that. We have to understand and accept that integration is the enemy's philosophy. That's their philosophy, brothers and sisters. We can't go with the enemy's philosophy. I mean, it's like we march right on back. And I think of course, the culmination of the problem happened well before my age and many of you. But there are older Muslims who know, that follow the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that know and believe, and also brothers like Lan Shabazz know that Farrakhan was put inside the Muslim movement. I hate saying that. I really do. I hate saying it, but it's the truth. It's the truth. And we have to speak truth. We have to speak truth. We're not going to be delivered Not going to be delivered with dealing with lies. We're not going to be delivered. That's not going to help us. We have to speak truth. And so I saw the most disturbing picture, excuse me, of a white Muslim, a devil, standing beside a brother. And I'm not just making this up. When I get frustrated, brothers and sisters, it's only because I just want us to be real. I want us to hold to the teachings of Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad as taught to us by Master Fard Muhammad. And he did not teach us to be dealing with white devils. Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said in the very end day, the last thing he'll use is his woman. And that's what's happening. And I hate to say it, but backsliding, hypocritical Muslims and Muslims are dealing with these white people. I'm not being racist. The Ku Klux Klan won't allow you in their organization. We got to have some place where the white man is not able to get in. There are white churches that won't allow you to come, that'll make you feel uncomfortable, and they won't even marry integrated couples. And they're not wrong. They're not wrong. They're not wrong. There should be a place where black people and white people have to themselves. We shouldn't have to integrate. We shouldn't have to integrate. I don't understand what this big deal about integration is. When financially, socially, and psychologically, and spiritually, we're segregated. As a matter of fact, Sunday morning is the most segregated time on the planet. Around the world, brothers and sisters. Around the world. That white man don't want to deal with you. I don't blame him. They shouldn't have to be forced to dwell with us, and we shouldn't have to be forced to dwell with them. Let us be in our own areas. Let us do our own thing. We stay out of their kitchen, their bedroom, their living room. They stay out of our kitchen, bedroom, and living room, and we will be a lot better. We'll do a lot better. That's why I hope Trump makes it. Yeah, that's why I hope Trump makes it. I hope he makes it. Biden has already showed you that he's not going to do anything for you. And at least, if you're going to be a devil, at least let me know you're going to be a devil so I know how to treat you. Yeah. Yeah. You give me the money that comes to me through taxes and all of that, and I'll go to my area and you stay in your area. That's just the way it should be. That's the way it should be. We should not have to be forced to get along with one another. We should not have to be forced to observe LGBTQA now, which is nothing but a satanic group of people and a satanic ritual. Because that's all it is. We shouldn't be forced to deal with one another. You know, I think it's crazy that they will make laws, and the laws are just hypocritical laws. You haven't made any real gains. You haven't made any real gains. Because if you made gains, you wouldn't be fighting for rights today. Here you are calling yourself a citizen and don't have the rights of a citizen. You steady fighting for rights. The police is beating you all upside your head and busting you all upside your mouth to let you know that you're not a citizen, that you're still 3/5 of a human. So they relegated you to animals. They haven't changed that in the Constitution. You just got to open up your eyes, brothers and sisters. You got to open up your eyes. You got to open up your eyes. Stop playing the fool. Stop playing the Uncle Tom. And stop playing the Judas. And we will be free tomorrow. And I say that because what you have to understand is that freedom itself is right around the door. Freedom itself is right around the door. But you'll never get there by serving this white devil. You'll never get there. And I don't blame him. The white man is not wrong for doing his own thing. Not wrong for doing his own thing. It's you. You don't have enough sense to get together amongst your own people and do your own thing. You don't have enough sense to do it. we're literally losing your mind over this integration thing, and we have yet to be integrated. And then, what's worse, Farrakhan is allowing white Muslims to come inside the temple. I told you all this. I've been telling you this for years. When he first made the comment in 1985, I think it was, I watched him on a television show on Phil Donahue. Donahue asked him the question. He said, will white people be able to come in to the mosque? He said, I know my brothers and sisters, some of my brothers and sisters are going to be mad at me for saying this. But yes, someday white people will be able to come into the Muslim movement, the Black Muslim movement. And nothing in the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad approves of white people coming into the Muslim movement, coming into the temple as it relates to the movement under the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And nothing can point to me one thing or one place where the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said we'll bring the white man in. He never said it. And you guys are just letting Farrakhan do what he wants to do. Brothers and sisters, no sir, no ma'am. I cannot. I beg your pardon. I just can't. I can't go along with that. I can't go along with that. And you could call me crazy or whatever else you want to call me. I can't go along with that. Because I know it's not the teaching of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It's not Muhammad's teaching. And we cannot go continuously in this direction that Farrakhan is leading us in. See, we got to stand up. We got to stand up and stand out. Assalamu alaikum. Greeting, brother BJ Hollywood. Our brother says to us, yes, my brother, I do believe Farrakhan is most guilty in the death of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X. And he is. We're going to talk about that tonight because he is. And what you need to understand is that the government protects and reward its killers. The government. Now, Farrakhan is no threat. Farrakhan is no threat to the American government. None whatsoever. He's no threat to the American government. He's never been a threat to the American government, brothers and sisters. Never have. Never have been. See? And you have to wake up to it. But many of you won't wake up because you don't understand and don't know the truth. You won't even study it. Many of you agree with Farrakhan out of fear. You just don't want any trouble to the white man. Farrakhan is no threat to the American government. He's never been a threat to the American government. And the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad did not pick Farrakhan as his successor. The heir apparent was Minister Malcolm. Malcolm was supposed to come back to the nation. They weren't going to allow that. Also, and we're going to talk about this, there were Muslims that followed Malcolm out of, because the key is the death of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Malcolm, his minister, Minister Malcolm. Once they started confusion, Farrakhan was one of them, between the messenger carrying lies and all this half-truths, him and Wallace Muhammad carrying these lies and half-truths in between the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the messenger. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and his minister, Minister Malcolm. Once they done that, and they caused the rift, and the pressure was on to force Minister Malcolm out because of the lies that they were spilling out all over the Nation of Islam and every temple and all of that. Once they got him out, some of these Muslims had called Malcolm's brother and had the brother to bag it up. And what they were doing was they told the brother, if you don't bag this up, we're going to kill you. We'll kill you. We'll kill your family. They had killers. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad knew nothing about this. But there was killers in the nation that were threatening people to take a stand with them against Minister Malcolm. They even got his own brother, Filbert. And you can check this. His own brother, Filbert, that also went against him. You can check this. So the painful thing is today, brothers and sisters, among all the lies and half-truths, and the winds and doctrine, the hurricanes, the tornadoes. It's for me to get back out, and start to put this truth in, because it's hard to put this truth in. There have been agents to come against me, to stop me, brothers to attack, and so all praises be to Allah that God has prepared me, and they already know I'm not afraid of dying. It's the last thing I'm afraid of. You beat me with the wrong stick, with the fear of death. I don't care anything about that. I've been in the military, and I've been to war. There's nothing worse than that. And if Allah protect me from that, and have given me the skills to protect myself, my family, and anybody with me, believe you me, I will use it. I will use it. I will use it. So my desire, my prayer is that it don't come to that to other brothers, because, you know, I'm just being plain with you. You playing with your life. You play with your life. I'm being plain with you. I'm not a Muslim skipping through the cabbage field, holding the hands of these white people, or holding the hands and tiptoeing through the tulip. That's not me. That's not me. I will protect and defend myself. I will walk away from any hurt, harm, and danger, because I will protect and defend myself. Know that. So, but if you are interested in truth, I want to give you truth. I'm trying to tell you the truth. This stuff that'll save you. Stop following Farrakhan. Farrakhan is a government plant. The government planted him in the line of Minister Malcolm, and Malcolm scooped him up, not knowing that he was a plant. John Ali, National Press Secretary of Plant, Captain Joseph, a government informant that was paid, Wallace Waradeen Muhammad, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's own son, was a plant, government plant. Benjamin Goodman. Oh yeah, Benjamin Goodman. Benjamin 2X Goodman was another government plant put in the nation, put in a line for Minister Malcolm. He followed Minister Malcolm over, to the OAAU to meet another brother, Gene Roberts, who was working for the FBI and CIA. Another brother named Gene Roberts, who was working for the FBI and CIA and the COINTELPRO, and getting paid through the New York Police Department. And along with the young lady that was working as Minister Malcolm liaison, when Minister Malcolm was shot, because that's the first part of killing Elijah Muhammad, is killing Minister Malcolm. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. The first thing you want to do is you want to kill the message. So you got to kill the quality and the quantity of the message. See, when you kill that message, that's called character assassination. When you kill that message, you got to do it in ways to discredit one who authors that message, right? So they discredited Master Fard Muhammad before the eyes of non-believers. Because if you was a believer, they couldn't discredit them in your eyes. But we have a lot of people posing as believers that are non-believers. They won't go against Farrakhan not because the teaching, because they know that he's going against the teaching. They won't go against Farrakhan because they believe that they're supposed to hold him up. He feed them this. That no matter what, don't go against your brothers and sisters, no matter what they do. Brothers and sisters, that's not the true teaching of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. These are Farrakhan's teachings. These are Farrakhan's teachings. So there were people that were being misled because they had a desire to be something. And none of them had gifts. If you notice about any Judas, they don't have any gift. The only gift the Judases have is to be a Judas. Backstabbing, that's the only gift they have, and that's not going to get them very far. See, you stab everybody in the back, you're just going to be in the middle of a bunch of dead people. See? So you have to watch. The Judas just want some fame, they want some clout, and they want some money. It's the lust of the eye, lust of the flesh, and the depravity of life. And what I'm telling you is, it was a two-part operation to kill Minister Malcolm and the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It was a two-part operation. First, discredit the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad in the nation, which will cause a rift between him and Minister Malcolm. Then the second part of it is to kill his influence of black nationalism outside the nation, which was bringing people in. Right? That's the first level. See, there's two evolutions to the first assassination of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Malcolm X was a part of that evolution. It was never really about Minister Malcolm. That's what was used because he was the voice and the first national representative of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You have to know that. You have to know that. There was no such thing as Farrakhan. The only reason Farrakhan has a name is because of what he said in the papers against Minister Malcolm. And Minister Malcolm was his leader. He showed you how you respect his leader. If he couldn't respect Minister Malcolm, you know he couldn't respect the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But he was carrying stuff in between the two, causing trouble, acting just like an old street prostitute. Yeah, being busy, running amok. Isn't that what they do? Isn't that what they do? Gossiping, running amok, causing trouble. Farrakhan has yet to teach the true teaching of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And he has a lot of deaths on his watch. It's a lot of deaths on his watch. Now, and I'm bringing up his name. I'm bringing up Wallace Waradeen Muhammad's name. I'm bringing up Captain Joseph's name. And I'm bringing up John Ali's name. John Ali was the National Press Secretary for the Nation of Islam. Captain Joseph was the captain and NOI for the Nation of Islam, Minister of Defense at one time before he was demoted. Because the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad found out that he was in the middle of causing all this stuff. Same thing with Farrakhan. Muhammad said that Farrakhan reminded him of a worm. This is the truth. His son, Wallace Waradeen Muhammad, he said that he would turn against him and he would work against him. This is a fact. Master Fard Muhammad said the same thing to him about Wallace Waradeen Muhammad. Now, let's talk about it. Master Fard Muhammad said that the white man is the devil, and he himself has a white mother. Well, I think he's more qualified than anybody to say that the white woman is the devil if he has a white mother, brothers and sisters. Don't that make sense to you? Because it sure makes sense to me. If his own mother was white, and he said the white man is devil, he'll have no problem convincing me. If you come from them, and you said that the white woman is the devil, the white man is the devil, I believe you. I believe everything you say. There's nothing you can say that will make me disbelieve. So we got to talk about that because the assassination attempt, the blood contract was against Minister Malcolm and also the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That was the blood contract because this was the first and second evolution in the death of Elijah Muhammad. See, Elijah Muhammad was the key. If you keep thinking about Minister Malcolm, you're missing it. It was Elijah Muhammad that raised Malcolm and gave him the knowledge to be able to speak to people and reach them. Malcolm had a gift in talking. He could pop off words. He had the charisma. He had the coolness and the intelligence. But it took the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad to organize him religiously, socially, politically, and otherwise, even being a religious leader, so that he'd be able to reach those people. And if you don't see that the evolution is against the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and opposed to Malcolm X, that's a distraction. The white man put that distraction in because his whole idea in 1975, his whole idea by 1975 was to finally kill the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and he did that with cortisone treatment and cortisone treatment by pill in mouth, and also they would rub it on his skin close to the lungs. And it was poisoning the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad slowly but surely. And the people that were around him was helping to administer this, which means they had also been bought out by the government. We have to say that. It's not, our government is not beautiful. They killed their own president, John F. Kennedy. Turned around and killed his brother, Robert F. Kennedy, and blamed it on Some old mafiato stuff. Said that one was killed by a socialist, and then the other one was killed by a foreign individual. And they're white. We have to be honest about that. We have to be honest about that. In this country, an American president was killed in broad daylight. If they'll do it to their own, what would they do to you and I? And they cover it up. Why, you'll never have the truth with this government. I said you'll never have the truth with this government. You'll never have the truth. So Farrakhan is not a threat to the federal government. Farrakhan has never been a threat to the federal government. I'm going to put that in here. He's never been a threat to the federal government. He's an agent of the federal government. Somebody saying right now, well, hold on, brother. Don't say that. Don't say that. But he is. He's an agent of the federal government, been working for them a long time. Pulling the wool over our eye, getting closer and closer to that white man. You should have known something was up when he started hanging around Father Flager. A known pedophile and a known registered sex offender. Registered sex offender, and the Catholic Church put him out for it. And a known pedophile, registered sexual offender, and a registered pedophile. And here this white man is able to hang in our community and act like that he's concerned about our rights. When has the Catholic Church ever been concerned about the rights of black people? You got to ask yourselves, brothers and sisters. These are the people that sponsored the slave trade. The Catholic Church did. And you got Father Flager. Father Flager is a white man. He's a devil. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the white man is the devil. Right? That's what he said. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the white man is the devil. Farrakhan is teaching something totally different because he's teaching his Muslims how to embrace these white people. Now, how are you going to do that and set up successful businesses? How are you going to do this and get among your own people to pass messages that need to be passed, that only black people need to hear? How are you going to get freedom if the devil is right in the middle of the camp? You can't do it. You can't do it. And brothers and sisters, we should be now, while Farrakhan is almost in the grave. And that's okay because all of us are going to go someday. But we should be now getting together, you and I, with our own show telling this truth. And I don't care what you got, pennies or whatever, all of us putting our money together, telling this truth so that we can sponsor it and start having meetings amongst one another. Where we'll come to each other's state. Muslims that truly care about the truth and truly care about the nation of Islam, we should be getting together. It's time for it now. We can't wait. We can't wait any longer. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad says the white man is the devil. I believe him. Because Master Fard Muhammad told him that. Who are we to disagree? No leader, with the exception of Garvey, has come anywhere close to the teaching of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. No leader. And here Farrakhan is marching us back into the Stone Ages. And I say that for a reason. You look at the march on Washington, in 1995. Get on the bus, right? The Get on the Bus campaign to go to D.C. So we'd have the Million Man March, right? I'm still trying to find out why we march. Still don't know why we march. I still don't know why we march. When Martin Luther King marched, he marched between the feet of two dead men. Is that right or wrong? He marched between the feet of two dead men. When they went back, others marched between the feet of two dead men. And here Farrakhan is doing the same thing in 1995, taking us back. He's marching between the feet of two dead men. What was the purpose of the march? What was the purpose of the gathering? I don't understand. Why not get into a hall or convention hall where white people can't come and talk to your people? Your people. Get it? Why would you have to do that in front of the American populace when we'd already been through that? Why are we going back? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. We've got to have a place, brothers and sisters, where the white man can't get in. And that's okay. We need to have a place, just a meeting. We have to have a meeting, just us. We have to have black fireside chats. Just us. Just us. And that's not racism. That's not racism. You see? But you, when you stay under this teaching, right? You stay under the teaching of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you'll see that it's the only way that you can go. Now, let's get on this, what we came here for. The object, because the Muslim movement was different than any other black movement in America. You have to understand, the object the entire time was to kill the teachings, right, of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, kill the message that Master Fard Muhammad had given to him, the one who authored that message. If I can do that, right, if I can do that, then at that point, I'll stop the growth within the Muslim movement, because the most important thing was what? The message to the black man. Message to the black man. Who? What message? Who authored that message? Nobody could get this through better than Minister Malcolm. He told them who authored the message. He told them who authored the message. So we've got to get to the place. This is us. As we were in the Muslim movement, where we are so connected and so united, we got to get to the place where we are saying the same thing, thinking the same thing, organizing the same way, doing the same thing, raising the same thing, and I mean saying it in every place. And that pipeline's got to be strong. The one thing I like about the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is that he reached back in our roots, took a message that we were speaking amongst one another, moved the religion of bondage out of the way, which is Christianity, that come from the white man, because Christianity itself comes out of Africa. It was named, it was the philosophy and teachings of Amenhotep. So that's why you say Amen. You say Amen or Amin, Amenhotep. When you close your prayer, God has always been around. God has forever been around. You understand what I'm saying? The white man showed you an illusion of God and a delusion of God, right? He showed you his delusion and showed you his illusion, and you believed it. Muhammad got that out of the way. It wasn't enough to teach, and Garvey did it too. I give credit to Garvey. Marcus Garvey did it too. But the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad began to set up things where we're all in sync with what we had to do, and pointed out the enemy directly. Literally, even religiously pointed out the enemy. He said, we won't even use your religion. We have our own religion. We won't even use your religion. That was bold. And that was standing in the power of God. That was standing in the true, holy, and righteous power of God for him to point that out. Because this is our trouble. Our trouble is that whatever white man said, we'll do it. And as black people, it's time out for us needing the white man to validate us. It's nothing worse than me hearing a black person in this day and age needing somebody white to validate them. Brothers and sisters, we've got to get beyond these childish aspects of our maturity. We've got to get beyond it. Nothing worse in the world than seeing an older black man being uncomfortable saying sir to a white person. Now, as Muslims, when we say sir and ma'am, we say it to everyone, black and white, male and female. We respect them, but we have a limit. We have a limit. We're not calling any kids sir and ma'am. We're not doing that. And you got to be wise. That's an old teaching. And what the white man tries to do is he tries to get you back to where he had you. He's literally trying to take you back. And here's the reason why I say I hope that Trump wins. I'm telling you why. And Trump is no different than Biden. It's a case of the wolf and the fox. Both of them want you on the dinner plate. Both of them want you as their meal. So both of them, there's no such thing as a quote unquote good white man. I hate when people say that. Because first of all, I know that none is good but the Father. That's the first thing I know. That unless we stay in tune with God, then we can all be bad. But the white man has taught you how to single him out in bad or good, which is a very oppressive mindset. See, because you shouldn't be looking to him anyway. You should be looking to yourself. And you should be trying to be the best thing that you can be. So, message to the black man. Do any of you have that? Do any of you have the message to the black man? Because if you don't have that book, Message to the Black Man in America. If you don't have that book, I need to try to get that for you. I need to try to get that book for you. Message to the Black Man in America. I need to try to get that book to you. Because that is a very important book. And I don't understand why a white person would want to be in the Muslim movement. Because the message is to the black man. So you have to ask yourself, anytime you're meeting, you need to ask yourself, why is a white person there? Why are they allowed to come there? They shouldn't be at your poetry readings. They shouldn't be at any of your private settings. Even your religious setting, they shouldn't be in there. You have to ask the question, what are you doing here? You have to ask the question. And it's an important question to ask. It's an important question to ask. Because if they're not there to hear what's going on, then the only thing that you and I could surmise, right, is that they're there for a different reason. If they're not there to listen to what's going on, right? We need to find out what they're doing in our meetings. That's what we need to find out. What are you doing here? What is your purpose? That's what we need to find out, you and I. We have to find these things out. It's time out for us allowing things to go on in our community and not having plausible answers and just being comfortable with white people being in our community. White people going into our churches. Look at Dylan Roof. It's prime example. Look at Dylan Roof. How, and that happened to be a black church. But how often do white people open up fire in white churches? You got Joel Osteen. What happened there? See, because they're violent people, they're heathens. You can't even trust them spiritually because they don't live the life. They don't live the life, so you can't even trust them spiritually. You understand what I'm saying? So If we can't, and I'm going to get back to our subject, if we can't trust them, why are we allowing them in our camp? Now, I want you to wrap your mind around it. Just hang on to it for a while. Farrakhan has Father Flake around him every time I see him. Every other picture, Father Flake is around. What is the purpose of that? Father Flake was that sister Ava Muhammad's janazah, which Farrakhan took his time to bury her. All of them, the whole nation, took their time to bury the sister who had abruptly come up dead after she did two things. Separation of death, which she always spoke, and the other thing she did was she called Thomas Jefferson a pedophile, which she's telling the truth. Next thing you know, everything was good. And that Thursday, we heard a report that the sister had died. Then American media began to say, well, she did have cancer. That's what they said. Excuse me. They said, well, she did have cancer. I looked and I said to myself, these people are amazing. I mean, you could see in that, that something had been done. Anytime they give an answer, and we're going to go on with our subject. Anytime America comes out to give an answer, this is how you know. This is how you know. When America come out and start answering stuff, you'll know it. That's the consternation I have about Benjamin Goodman. I just found that out. Studying and researching. They defend Benjamin 2X Goodman, who came out with Minister Malcolm to OAAU. Came out with Minister Malcolm. When the job was done, when Minister Malcolm was dead, he went back over to the Nation of Islam. I don't understand that evolution, except to understand that it's troublemaking. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. I know you understand. I don't understand that evolution except to understand that it's troublemaking. In between, causing trouble in between the most honorable Minister Malcolm X and the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. See, so Benjamin Goodman, when Minister Malcolm was shot, he went to the back. The sister that was working with him also went to the back. They went to the back. Malcolm only had there was another brother that went to the back. I believe it was James 67X. You gotta check me on that. And I hope you're doing your research too. James 67X went to the back as well. So all of this in the OAAU movement on February the 21st, 1965. So this is something that we want to keep our mind on. We want to understand. We have to watch what these funny moves that are being made. Funny moves that are being made. Not just by Farrakhan. Not just by Farrakhan, but there were funny moves being made by several individuals. And I pointed them out because we're gonna talk about these. And we're going to talk about these black blood contracts on our black leaders. But what you have to understand is they need a Judas in order to fulfill these things. They need a Judas. So our question is, who is the Judas? Now, if you want to see the teachings that come to us, the history that come to us, the mind of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you have to start with Message to the Black Man in America. Farrakhan is not teaching that. Farrakhan is not teaching the concept of Message to the Black Man because he's letting these white devils in. There's this one white boy, it's supposed to be a white Mexican named Abraham. That's in he's in Chicago now. He come out of Texas. Then he has another white devil calling himself an Indian. White Native American. That's what he says. And his name is Abraham. So I guess it's supposed to be the beginning of that. As far as their nations, they're supposed to be the first to establish the Nation of Islam inside of their tribes, so to speak. So we have to understand exactly what's going on. This is not what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught. Not what he taught, brothers and sisters. Farrakhan is not teaching message to the black man. He's not teaching it. And I'm gonna put that down in there because I wanna, when they ask me, I'm gonna say, well, all you gotta do is check the transcript. But he's not teaching message to the black man. He's not doing it. And I just saw a picture that disturbed me on Facebook, and I know it's been happening, but it still disturbed me, where these white Muslim females attended Founders Day and have been inside of the Muslim movement. White people. Now, when did the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad ever sanction that? He never did. He never did. That's Farrakhan. Farrakhan is doing what he wants. Farrakhan is an agent. He's not confused. If, you know, and here's the thing. If he was truly following the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he has all the material that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad ever put out to be able to republish and the material and put it out again. But he's teaching what Farrakhan wants. He's got Dianetics. He's in with the Church of Scientology. This L. Ron Hubbard guy, he's been teaching his stuff. And all of these things are exactly against what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is teaching. This is against what Muhammad is teaching. See? We got to be wise, brothers and sisters, and stop babysitting false prophets, because that's what we're doing. Yes, Farrakhan is a false prophet. He's a false prophet. And here's the thing: you're not gonna get when you go to talking these things. You don't worry about it. You're not gonna get any accolades. You shouldn't be doing this for accolades. You only the strong survive. Isn't that what Jerry Butler said? I think Jerry Butler was a singer that said that. Only the strong survive, right? You're gonna have to face truth. You're gonna have to face truth. You have to be willing to be an example and an example for everything that we got going on today. You have to be willing to be the example of one who stands for truth. What did the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said? To be a Muslim means to be what? To be a Muslim means to be under total submission unto God. Total submission. Right? And if he believed that the teachings that came to the messenger were good word, then it should be no problem putting it out. If you believe that the messenger has the message to the black man, it should be any reason for you to put out anything else. Farrakhan puts out what he wants to put out. He explains it what he wants to explain. And they say, now it's time for him to step down. You know, it's been time. Because for one thing, he's not the person that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad chose. They killed that heir apparent, and then there were several others that were killed, including Sister Ava Muhammad. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. I know you understand. And so, Sister Ava Muhammad, who was teaching to me, in my opinion now, was the last fiery minister, evangelist, sister in the Nation of Islam to speak that fire, that power that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad had and what he delivered to his ministers. That sister was powerful. I would listen to her all the time. Every time she's coming out, I'm going to see her. Sister Ava was amazing. Sister Ava would support. She supported black people. Anything we had going on, I have to be honest and say she supported that. I'm being honest. Powerful sister, powerful message. She taught the teaching of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Everything was good. You know, she's been dead for about, I think, 2 years now. Everything was good. She was teaching. She was speaking with power. Then she started getting on the presidents. She said Thomas Jefferson was a pedophile and a sex offender. And the minute she said that about Thomas Jefferson, everything was good that Wednesday night, that Thursday, then that Thursday evening, they said that Sister Ava had passed. When you hear that message, you know they told Farrakhan you got to do something about that. What happened to Minister Collett when he spoke at King College? Didn't James Best shoot him at Riverside, California? Khalid Muhammad was shot. I was with Khalid when he was marching. His inner circle was Steve Coakley. The other was on the outside, but we was in the inside planning every step. Khalid was wise. He had several things going on. And I tell you another thing too. He knew who his killers was because he told us he's going to stay close to his killers. Huh? Yeah. He was going to stay close to his killers. He knew who his killers were. You know who they are too now. You just don't want to say it. Our brother BJ Hollywood say there's a picture of Farrakhan and Father Flavor kissing. I seen it. Brother, you're right. The picture that I got up here is a picture of, and that's what those Catholics do. Be kissing men on the forehead and kissing them in the mouth and kissing baby. You know, this stuff here. See, we got to get away from this white devil who is poisoning us. That's what I'm saying, brothers and sisters. There's no channel that's going to speak the truth. They're not going to do it. Every time I do it, trouble happens to me. I thank God for Black Nationalist Network because they've kept me safe thus far. They make me relevant. But they put the truth on this channel and they help me organize it, show me how to use it. I think all praises be to Allah for Black Nationalist Network because they have kept me relevant through the years. I've been out here since 1986. Those of you that study history know that Khalid created African American Defense League 1986. He also revamped the Black Power movement in 1988. In 89, he encouraged the Panther movement, right? He also got, when he got arrested for something that he didn't do, for some property that didn't belong to him, it belonged to the one who was over the Nation of Islam. You know what I'm talking about, Farrakhan. Khalid went to jail for that, for selling some property they didn't really have the rights to. He didn't know it. Khalid went to jail. When he came out, Farrakhan elevated him to national spokesman for the Nation of Islam. He was the third national spokesman for the Nation of Islam. This is some truth here. And after that, brothers and sisters, I mean, he was going powerful. Khalid was on a path, and he was at them devils. They called him a truth terrorist. Khalid was at those devils. He said, "I'm going to give them hell from the cradle to the grave." And my God, Allah, he did just that. Gave them hell from the cradle to the grave. And like I said, it was an assassination attempt on Khalid in Riverside. That was one of 4 assassination attempts because there was another attempt prior to that. Riverside, he got shot. A fanatic of Farrakhan shot him named James Best. James Best shot Khalid. This is a fanatic of Farrakhan. The same James Best, you'll find out, was in the Nation of Islam in California. He was about 18 or 19 years old. Minister Malcolm, at that time, was out of the nation. We're talking about somewhere between 1965. Best came in about 62. But around 65, when Minister Malcolm is over AAU, this is during the month of February, they had flown James Best, the other brother that was there that they talk about now, you know him, that he did the killing, Thomas Hare did the killing, right? There was another one that helped aided Thomas Hare that was with the CIA. They picked him up. He later turned up with the Black Panther Party, right? The same agent that infiltrated the Black Panther Party was the same agent that helped set up the death of Minister Malcolm, the rogue Muslims and all of that. You know about Gene Roberts. Many of you don't know about Goodman. Many of you don't know about Goodman, right? Goodman. Yeah. Goodman 2X, right? Benjamin Goodman 2X was also an FBI agent, COINTELPRO, and they're defending him now. And that's how you know the federal government will always defend somebody. They get on edge for him. They defending him now, but all this stuff is coming out. The agent, black agent that they're talking about that talked about the setup. All of this is in the first evolution of killing the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and killing his message. That was the first evolution of it. Because if you can distort a religion at its base, if you can distort a religion at its base, then the founder of that religion you bring into question, right? Minister Malcolm and the most honorable Elijah Muhammad was confused because there were messengers taking messages back and forth in between them. They were taking messages back and forth in between them. So they broke that bond. And not only that, but the FBI and CIA kept intercepting the messages that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad was sending to Minister Malcolm and what Mr. Malcolm was sending to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. The chief agents causing that trouble and rift was Wallace Warberdeen Muhammad, John Ali, National Press Secretary, Louis Farrakhan, and then again Benjamin Goodman. And you had Captain Joseph, who was a paid informant. And I want you to know that everyone they arrested for the killing of Minister Malcolm were guilty. The government now is trying to come in and save people, but all of them was guilty. See, I want to let you know that. I'm going to tell you the truth. Dr. Khalid told us. See, because he had already investigated all of that. Lance Shabazz told us. See? The truth is already out there. But you got to open your eyes to see it. So Farrakhan, and this is him and Wallace Warberdeen Muhammad. The first evolution, let's destroy the organization. Let's get the founder. But we can't do that unless we get his spokesman. Let's get them warring against each other, and they won't see that we're the ones causing the confusion. They won't see it. So we'll get them warring against one another and all of that. And then what did Malcolm do? Most honorable Elijah Muhammad got some message to Malcolm, because Malcolm went to sin. He was going to let him back in. We're talking about the late 60s now, or rather 65, 63 to 65. Some of them were successful in getting messages to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm, messages from the most honorable Elijah Muhammad to Malcolm. And the most honorable Elijah Muhammad was going to let Malcolm back in. If you look, the end of 64 and the beginning of 65, Minister Malcolm in Detroit. You just go to the Albert Cleage Shrine of the Black Madonna in Detroit, Michigan. I believe it's December and January of 1965. And then he goes February the 3rd down in Selma, Alabama. Then he comes back February the 16th, I believe it is. Am I right? No, it's February the 6th. He goes back to Detroit, and he said, most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I give him credit for teaching me what I am, who I am today. He apologized for addressing and all of that. He's getting ready to come back in. He said, I'm going to stop saying, you mark these words. He said, I'm going to stop saying that it's the Muslims. He said, I know what the Muslims can and can't do. There are things that have happened to me that the Muslims cannot do. I'm going to stop saying that it's the Muslims. He learned it overseas when they tried to poison him. The CIA agents were following him when they poisoned him before he was trying to go into France, and then they wouldn't let him in France. And you remember he talked about it. Now, here's the key part to that. The minute that he figured that out, then they had to push the button. They had to push the button. Now, Benjamin Goodman, or Benjamin 2X, was one of the ones that carried the messages for the CIA and FBI to let them know, hey, he's about to go back in with the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'll tell you what Goodman did. He acted like he came out with Malcolm. He acted like he came out with him. And then to the Organization of African American Unity, right? And once he did that, and he's with Malcolm, he's getting this information, taking it back to the nation, keeping the atmosphere polluted, giving Farrakhan the information that he needed, John Ali, Wallace Waradeen Muhammad, all the information that they needed, right? Captain Joseph had been moved down from his position, right? But they gave them all the information that they needed to keep stuff going. Well, you had Muslims to leave the Honorable Elijah Muhammad when Minister Malcolm said, listen, he said, I think it's still the best organization. He said, don't leave from there to part ways. He said, because I believe in that organization. He's telling them that he believes in it. Right? So, and you see this. So within a few days before his death, there were things that were going to be done to sort of quell this argument that had been created outside of them. The government could not go for that. They pushed the kill button, and when Malcolm is shot, he's on the stage. His right-hand man is on the stage, right? Guzman, they're on the stage. Rockman is on the stage. Benjamin Goodman and the young lady, and I believe 67X, they all went in the back. Malcolm was shot, they were gone in the back. And Benjamin Goodman said these words, and you can't see, as a Muslim and as anybody to do investigation, you can't let the words pass you by when he said, I give you Minister Malcolm X. He said, here's a man that'll give his life for the people. He's telling you what's going on. Another thing too, you'll hear Dick Gregory say that him and Malcolm were friends. Malcolm did not trust or respect Dick Gregory. That's a fact. That's a fact. You have to know that. Dick Gregory ran around here, and half the time you didn't even know what he was talking about because he couldn't answer a question straight. He'd go to talking all over the place. He was just an old man that wanted to be heard. But Malcolm X did not trust Dick Gregory. If you go back to listen to him, you'll find it out. He did not trust Dick Gregory. Now, he didn't trust Farrakhan. Toward the end, he found out exactly what was going on because Albert Cleage, you need to look up Albert Cleage. Look up Albert Cleage's Shrine of the Black Madonna, was a friend of Minister Malcolm, and he was letting Malcolm know everything that Farrakhan was doing. See, Farrakhan he was dirty. He was dirty. He was dirty. So, because he had been put in there. And they said, we're going to put you over the nation. The government said it. We're going to put you over the nation, but we've got to get some things out of the way. You're going to have to show us that you're for us, Farrakhan. And if you do that, we'll put you over the nation. Farrakhan came out in the Muhammad Speak newspaper in an article entitled Hypocrite and said that such as a man as Malcolm should have his head cut off, should have his tongue cut out and mailed to the messenger. Such a man as Malcolm is worthy of death. Farrakhan said that. And not only that, Farrakhan heavily mistreated his family, mistreated Malcolm's family, his wife and children. After Minister Malcolm was dead, he spoke very harshly about Minister Malcolm. You know it. They showed you on the news station about he said, if we killed Minister Malcolm, so what if we did? See, this was the real man. He didn't know that it was being filmed, but somebody filmed it and sent it in. There's nothing done in darkness that will not come out in the light. So once they killed Minister Malcolm, then was to get the eagle. See, you'd already stirred the nest. You'd already stirred the nest. Now you got to get the eagle. Is that right? Because you stirred the nest. So then the people around the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I saw this one clip where they were trying to sit the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad down. They were trying to force him down. But he was so strong that they couldn't even, I mean, this little stout old man, all of them was pushing against some young men, trying to force him to sit down. Talking about he was tired, and he says, nothing wrong with me. They were trying to make the people think that he was sick. He wasn't sick. He was doing better than he had been doing in a long time, but they had to paint that notion because they knew they was going to take him out. This is in the late 60s, early 70s. And as you know, in 1975 of February, Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad passed. Now, we're going to talk about was killed. He was assassinated. Let's be plain. He was assassinated. Now, we're going to talk about later, because I got all the shows down that if you want to read those for what's coming out, I got all the shows down that we're going to talk about. I'll make sure I put them far enough advanced so you can see exactly what's going on, because I want all of us to be talking. We want to teach this together, because there may be some things that I missed that you may have, and let's discuss that. That's important. So you can chime in like our brother, BJ Hollywood. Brother chimes in. See, because it's important for all of us to learn this lesson. But I want you all to personally make this your channel. Get people to come out and let's talk about this. We need to talk about this before Farrakhan is dead. Because when Farrakhan goes, the whole thing that the devil and the opposition want is for people to leave the Nation of Islam. I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, I know what I'm talking about. Just as sure as my nose is running, they want people to leave the Nation of Islam. They want you to leave. So we've got to be wise. We should be pulling people into the channel. We should be talking about this. There's some people that you know that may know that history maybe better than I do. See? Because I know that Farrakhan got blood on his hands. He got blood on his hands. Wallace, Waridin Muhammad, he's gone now. Created the American Muslim movement, was supposed to break up. After they killed the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad with that cortisone and the cortisone pills, the Nation of Islam was divided between Wallace Waridin Muhammad for the American International Muslim Movement, right? And then was given to Farrakhan to replant the Nation of Islam. And whoever survived, whoever had the fastest growing movement, will be able to continue. They weren't going to stop them, but whoever survived is who they was going to put the money in. Farrakhan came teaching the things that were familiar with the teaching of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but he was making funny moves. And Farrakhan ended up getting the golden egg. When the government sponsored him, they began to give him money. If you remember, in the late 80s, early 90s, they gave him money for the rehabilitation of criminals or felons in the system. And before he could get that money, he had to say that white Muslims or white people could join the Muslim movement. But they got him the money, and that's when they started trickling these so-called white people in, so-called brown people. The message is to the black man. See? But they had to, you got two evolutions going on. You got to get Minister Malcolm, get him out of the way. He believed this. He's the foremost teacher of this. Get Minister Malcolm out of the way, and then you got to kill the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Because people didn't trust Wallace. They didn't trust Wallace because they knew Wallace had did. So the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is in the place now. Like, I can't have the organization to die. So he chose Wallace as a leader. Wallace leaves it, go to American International Muslim Movement. Right? A movement that he created on his own. Right? Because the whole purpose, he was working with the CIA, and the CIA was to destroy the Muslim movement. Now, Farrakhan has never been a threat to the U.S. government, proof of which he had family members in the Harvey, Illinois Police Department. Mustafa, the head of the FOI, all you have to do is check this. Mustafa Muhammad, or Mustafa Farrakhan, head of the FOI, Farrakhan's quote-unquote Muslim movement, was a police lieutenant at the Harvey, Illinois Police Department. Don't take my word for it. Go and search it, brothers and sisters. Go search it. Don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. All you have to do is search it. And you'll find out that this is the truth. You'll find out that the brother is being truthful to you. But we have to talk about these things. We got to talk about it. There's no way around it. And we got to bring people to this channel and commit yourself. Brothers and sisters, listen to this. I'm going to be on this channel. But I have other things that we're trying to do. What I would like, because this is harsh truth, but we need to gain the people who want the real teachings. Gain those people and support the channel. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. Support the channel so we can continue to speak the truth, because Farrakhan is about to leave here. He's sick. I've gotten a word from the top of some people that are disgruntled, and they're leaving. They're leaving the Muslim movement. They're leaving. We need to be organized to hear the truth. We need to be organized to hear the truth. Anytime that white people start coming inside the nation, that's a problem, brothers and sisters. That's a problem. Anytime white people are breaking in one of the most powerful organizations in the world, the Nation of Islam was that. You never had a more powerful organization than the Nation of Islam. We got a haggler here. We welcome him. Soup Bone. He said, "You sound crazy." I know I do. I know I sound crazy. I don't mind sounding crazy. The truth is normally crazy. The truth is normally crazy. And I'll sound crazy to put out the truth. I'll sound crazy. And I expect it, brothers and sisters. You're going to have a lot of people. You're going to have a lot of people that's going to hear the truth. But you have a lot of them that's going to try to interrupt the truth. A whole lot of people. But the Nation of Islam under Farrakhan is nothing near what Elijah wanted. Now, Silas Muhammad runs a good administration for the Nation of Islam, because he don't believe in white people crashing a black organization. I saw a picture, brothers and sisters. I'm going to see if I can find this picture for you. I saw a picture of a Muslim brother in uniform beside this white devil. I almost lost it. Almost. I saw him right beside this white devil. He took a picture. And you had one, these younger brothers don't know what it's all about, right? One of them got on there and said, "Oh, I know her." And I mean, it wasn't ashamed to say it. I'm going to try to find it. There it is. I'm going to put this on screen. I hope you can see it. Hope you can see it. That's a white girl standing beside the young brother. Standing beside the young brother. He's standing beside a devil posing. I don't know if he had anything to do with it or not, but he's standing beside this devil posing inside of the temple. This is kind of stuff we got to stop. We got to stop this. The nation was created for black people, for the benefit of black people. When the white man created this government, he created this government and the Constitution for white people, for the benefit of white. We have to create something for our benefit, for us and for our benefit. We have to do that. I don't agree with brothers and sisters being on assistance or anything that come from that white man. Because if he can give it to you, he can always take it back. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was teaching us to have a foundation of do for self mentality. We have to do for ourselves. Stop looking for the white man to validate you. Stop looking for the white man to give you. Stop looking for the white man to approve of you. Stop dealing with the white man. So the brother said, wasn't Master Fard Muhammad white? And I know he's a Muslim, probably from Farrakhan's camp. I just covered this earlier, but I'm gonna say it again. This is Soup Bone. I hope y'all, everybody look at Soup Bone down there. He wants to be seen. He wants to be seen. So Master Fard Muhammad was the one that said that the white man is the devil. He had a white mother. He didn't give an excuse for his white mother. And I dare anybody to show me where he gave an excuse for his white mother. When he said the white man was the devil, he said he had a white mother when he said it. Now, I defy and dare anyone to show me where he didn't say that. If you have the book of wisdom, if you're truly reading Message to the Black Man, all the other books out there, bring it up and show me where he gave his mother a pass. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. But see, we have so many, you got a lot of bandwagon people. You got a whole bunch of bandwagon people. And everybody's not going to agree with you. I don't want everybody to agree with me, but at least search it for yourself. At least search it for yourself. But you have to kill, before you can kill that messenger, you got to discredit his message. Because that's character assassination. That's the beginning of character assassination. That's the beginning of it. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad set up more businesses around the country than anybody. Black people were more independent in the Muslim movement under the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad than anyone else. He helped support black businesses. If a Muslim was without, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad would tell you to band together to help that Muslim. He was absolutely complicit about the white man. He was absolutely complicit about the white man. But what we do, brothers and sisters, we're not strong enough to attack the white man. We won't do that. We won't do that. But we'll sure go to black people, like this brother that's on the show right now. I'm going to let him have his way, because I'm not going to stop him. He put down whatever you want to put down, because it's going to help the ratings. So I want you to do it. I want you to do it. You go on to write whatever you want to write. But one thing we'll do, we'll attack each other. And that's teaching. That's the teaching, right? That we get under oppression to move against one another. We won't study. We won't do it. We won't find something conventional to do. Because I've never met anybody that agree with everybody. And I've never met somebody that agree with everything that's said. And I don't think that you'll ever meet somebody that agree with everybody, or someone that will agree with everything that's said. But at least research. At least research. A black person can't make me their enemy. I won't do it, because I know it's a waste of time. That's a waste of time. But us coming together, standing on truth, and defending this teaching that helps black people, there's no other teaching that helps black people like the Nation of Islam under the teaching of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Because he'll take people off the streets. He tells us to hug the drug addict, even when they peed on themselves. He'll tell us to love our brothers and sisters that's out there on the street, the homeless. He tells us to feed the hungry, clothe the naked. He tells us to educate that brother, and sister, and inspire them. That if we can do that, then we can build them up and take them from out of muck and miry clay and rebuild them as regular individuals. We're able to do that by black love, self-confidence, and a do-for-self mentality. We can do that. We can do that. We can do it when we got black people among black people, but we'll never do it. We'll never do it if there are white people involved. Anytime the white man is inside of your organization, he'll always stop it. He'll always stop what you're doing. He'll always stop your effectiveness if he's inside of your organization. So we see a decline. We saw a decline. And what I want you to know is the real Nation of Islam still exists. But the white man puts the camera on Farrakhan. And when he put the camera on Farrakhan, you'll think that that is the only Nation of Islam. That's the trick. That's the white man's trick. Look, Egypt, if you go to Egypt, the real Egypt is still there. The real Nubian is still there, right? I should say Kemet, because that's the real name. The real name is Kemet. The real Egypt is still there. The real, the real Kemet is still there. Egypt is an insult to the term Kemet. But the real Kemet is still there. The real Nubia is still there. There are people still living there. But the white man would put the focus on the old temples. The real Israel is still in Ethiopia. The tomb of Solomon is still in Ethiopia. But the white man will keep pointing you to a people that's in Palestine that took the land from the Palestinians, that are German and European, calling themselves Jews. Tanya Netanyahu is the main one. And he'll make it here. This place is younger than the quote unquote King David. Younger than King David, because the place is only 80 or 90 years old. 80 or 90 years old. You see what I'm saying? And they said that that's the real Israel. That's the liar that you have in front of you. That's the liar that you have in front of you. You see them? The system that was set in place was an illusion. If you read in the book of Exodus, it tells you there arose a Pharaoh that knew not Joseph. This Pharaoh was an invader that had come down and acclimated himself among the brothers and sisters of that day. When our elders told us, stay away from them, don't marry them, don't let them even mingle among you. We didn't listen, brothers and sisters. And anytime we should know it by now. See? We should already know. Anytime the white man, because he calls himself white, and this is his turn. Anytime the white man come down to you, it can't be anything good. There's no one that's ever did anything good for Africa. There's no one that's ever did anything good for the African born in America or the African born throughout the diaspora. There's nothing that they've ever done good for you. The only thing they've ever done for you is the hard way to go. It's the only thing they've ever given you. But they need you to survive. The white man can't survive without you. If you here's a whole knowledge behind what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was doing, which I think is brilliant. He knew that if he organized us to have our own, to do our own, same way they did in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that we wouldn't need the white man. You wouldn't have nobody on assistance. You wouldn't, because when this thing hit all of us, you wouldn't have anyone on assistance. You wouldn't have anyone on SNAP or food stamps. Wouldn't have anyone on Section 8. You wouldn't have any single families, right? Because everybody would be married, right? And the nation also teach polygamy too, right? For those that are financially and socially and religiously mature, when they move up to that point, after they've proven themselves. And so that means you wouldn't even have any homeless children. Wouldn't be no need for any systems. Because with that teaching, the man would be able to build up and raise up the people that he needed to raise. My point is simply this, that it was the answer for the black man. It is the only answer for the black man. And this answer we need to hang on to. This is what we should be teaching. This is what we should be living. As black people, we have to be practicing that, because this is the only way out for us. But somehow when these infiltrators came in, even though they are call them infiltrators, came in to do their master's will, the Nation of Islam created by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad was ripped in two, right? And that again was the first part of discrediting and killing the message of the messenger. And then once that was done, then they went to poison the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, which Farrakhan himself has admitted on several occasions that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad was assassinated, and he was poisoned with the cortisone pills and also the cortisone cream that they were rubbing on his chest and other areas where he had asthmatic bronchitis. And this poisoned the messenger. So brothers and sisters, this is important for us to do this. We're going to come back tomorrow. We're going to come back tomorrow and be able to study the very same thing. We'll be talking about the very same thing. We'll welcome you. I ask you to have brothers and sisters to subscribe so that we can be able to increase our following. And you come in with some knowledge so that we can all talk about this and speak about it together. Together. Truly come and speak about this. And don't worry about it. Welcome the troublemakers too. We want them to come in too, because eventually it'll begin to sink in for them. But I'm thankful to be here. Thankful. I appreciate the time you had, no matter how short, to come and visit with me And I pray that everything that you do will be blessed. That's my prayer, that everything that you do will be blessed. And if you leave it in the hands of God and you get on God's side, everything you do will be blessed. If you get on God's side, we have to be on God's side. We have to be on God's side. And God will bless us to do his will. God is calling us, he's calling us and causing us to stand up for his will. And fear is not of God, fear is of the devil. And you already know who the devil is. And he's not no imaginary figure running around with the cow hooves and a tail and a pitchfork. You already know who he is. You already know who he is. And so, brothers and sisters, our desire and our prayer is to come together. And the month of Ramadan is coming up. But while we're fasting, we should also be researching truth and strengthening ourselves. And it shows strength for us to come together and concentrate on these issues. To certainly concentrate on these issues. I want to tell you, brothers and sisters, that I love you. And this is Love Talk. When you love one another, you come together and you discuss things. When you love one another, when you're mature enough to understand what loving black people are and what it is, you're not going to come to waste words or cause trouble. Mature people love and embrace one another. Come together and figure it out. That's what Allah is calling and causing us to do. We don't have a choice. Muslims are going to start meeting by and large, because what the major question is, what are you going to do? We can do better together. In unity, there's strength. We can do better together, because they don't have anybody else to play the Judas. They don't have enough time to train another Farrakhan. And they're supposed to turn it over into the hands of Ismail, to my understanding. And we know from there it's going to continue to go down, because Farrakhan has organized the Nation of Islam to lose power. He's organizing. He's allowed it to be integrated by other than black people. So, brothers and sisters, we have to be ready. We have to be steadfast. We have to be unmovable. And we have to be always abounding in the work of God. We have to save ourselves. There's no white Jesus coming to save us. There's no Jesus coming to save us. Our Savior has already come. Our Savior has already come. And we have to do what it takes to save ourselves. And to lean and depend on God in these difficult times. Again, I pray that Allah bless you and all you do. And if I didn't say it to you in the beginning, I love you, brothers and sisters. Peace be unto you. And I sign off with you by saying, Assalamu alaikum.